Monique Bethany. I am here with the 1983 state champions of Melrose High School. Team, would you please introduce yourself for me? First of all, we have here
Alfonso Jackson, co-captain.
Co-captain. Great.
Dwayne Bailey.
Coach Dorsey Sims III.
All right.
Daniel Turner.
Roderick Rod Mason.
Marvin Cash.
Sophia Combs' wife, a widow of Roosevelt Combs.
Clemens Jones for Frederick Jones.
All right. Now, can you all tell me how long have you guys played together prior to coming together for the '83 championship?
For 2 years.
What for 2 or 3 years together?
2 or 3 years. Did any of you go to or play in junior high school together?
Yeah, a couple of players.
Yeah. But the way the way the team came together, you know, a lot of us had been junior high and elementary. Where you get your Richland junior high, you get your Melrose junior high, you get your Ridgeway junior high, which all of us was right here together. Sherwood junior high, and you get all of us here together, and so all of us would come to Melrose. And you know, the big thing about Melrose, with the history and all that, you know, like for me, man, I see them in them gold Converse.
Yes.
Nobody had them, you know. So, you know, hey, man, we would cut a finger off to get them gold Converse.
Absolutely.
And, you know, another thing, unique thing about this team was that when Messi had a high school, okay, and then when they closed, so we ended up getting Sydney and Belford. Then they came. We had Bailey. He came on over from White Station, and so now that's how we kind of came together. And that year before us, that was a team that kind of started the movement, right? And then when Sydney and Belford came, and then you had Roosevelt came in from Mississippi, then we had the Babies. Oh man, we were set. We were set. I mean, it was just a match made in heaven, and only somebody could do it was Dorsey Sims.
Right. Talk to me about Dorsey Sims. What type of coach was he?
He was a disciplinary.
Yes.
He was strict.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? If you ain't do them X's and O's, you know what was coming. You was coming to the bench.
They kind of made a movie based on him to me, and it was Coach Carter. Same thing. If you didn't do what you're supposed to do, you didn't pull your weight, you wasn't gonna be here. Simple as that.
He raised boys to me.
To me,
Yeah.
When I first came over, I was, 10th grade? Came over from Overton, where school was just dominant, just, you know, basic. And I was the guy over there. So when I came over to Melrose, I transferred. I get over there, I said, I'm thinking these guys, centers and forward. No, these guys point guard. I said, it can't be. You got Fred Jones, you got
Sydney,
you got 6'8", 6'9". I said, man, I'm at the wrong school. So I dealt with it, and they made me their family, and I struggled with, and I can't be who I am now.
What position did you play?
I was point guard.
The point guard. Okay.
A shoot guard, point guard. Yeah.
Okay.
average people like us, we were relegated to God because it was, we had the Giants, you know, we had the Bulls. Our top 7 people was over 6'5", so, you know, guy like Danny, he almost hit the cup. He was down there with us, though, because them guys were long and tall. So.
pure shooter.
Yeah.
Who was that?
DT was the shooter.
Yeah, he don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
He used to catch the gym on fire. He didn't put it back out.
Then we had a late guy named Rube. Rube used to do the same thing.
Ruben.
Ruben Rose, he could stand flat foot and jump straight up and down. Just jump straight up.
And I remember one time we came to practice. We had Clinton came out. They had Iron Man. They 2 years, probably 3 years before we were. And we thought we was. Can I say shit?
Yeah. Yeah.
No. And you know what? We wasn't nothing compared to them guys. They had Iron Man, Michael Brooks, Big Jackson. We won. Campbell. We talking about we won nothing.
That was what was so unique about it.
What was that?
Because Coach constantly brought back, and all the older guys came back, so that we had to take them on. I mean, he had Hank McDowell and Dennis Isbell. That year that we won, they would come in, so we were battle tested. And one thing I always like to talk about with the Gold Conference, we were so unique. Me and Daddy were talking about earlier. When we come in from halftime, when we come in, we go in with one jersey. We come out with a fresh jersey. Fresh jersey. Nobody else did that.
Absolutely.
And also, when we went on the road, we never had the same number. We had a number up or under our number. Because we had on the Burgundy jersey, they were number different. So I think I was like 12 and 13. So you had two numbers. One for home, one for away. So that way when they scout you, that coach would throw them out.
One thing I also want to say about Coach, even though he had guys before us, guys after us, even though he had all these different talents on the team, nobody was number one. Yeah, he made sure you knew that. It was a team bottom line. If you couldn't accept that, you weren't around. So,
Everybody had their role.
And we had greats. You had Melrose, but you had to be a part of the team.
yes.
We had 3 teams, because when anywhere.
What was you all?
Part of
Go
that
ahead.
team- Part of that team that they were talking about, they used to scrimmage against, was the 1978 state championship. So that even made them much better
Battle tested.
prepared and battle tested, as they alluded to earlier. Those guys, off of that team, there were 3 NBA players. Reuben Jackson was drafted by the Chicago Bulls. James Campbell was drafted by the Houston Rockets. Michael Brooks, he was drafted by the Denver Nuggets. He went to the University of Tennessee. Reuben and Campbell went to school with me at Oklahoma City University. So there was great talent always in the gym for these young men to play against. And that's what it's all about. And that's one of the things we got to get back to over here, is allowing former players to realize this was the place to come and play in the summer. This is where you honed your tools and your craft and how you got better. You came back to the gym and you played against people that were in college. When they talk about Hank McDowell, those guys played with the Atlanta Hawks. They were NBA players. You know, and my dad, players like Anthony Roberts, that would play with the Denver Nuggets, and Alvin Scott, that played with the Phoenix Suns. Those guys would be in the gym. They played at Oral Roberts University. And whenever they were traveling through, they would always come by. And you know, that was unique and special back during that time. And one of the things that I wanted to mention is that when these young men are talking about the converts, my father was taught by the inventor. There was only one black man that was taught by the inventor of basketball, and that was John McClendon. John McClendon was taught by James Naismith. John McClendon won 3 national championships when blacks and whites couldn't play against each other at Tennessee State. That's who my father learned the game from. And everybody that John McClendon put his hands on became Hall of Fame coaches. And so they just weren't taught by anybody. They were taught by Hall of Fame coaches, and that legacy was passed down.
Right.
And as you go out today and you see the fast break as it is today, that's not Duke's former coach. That's not Indiana's former coach. That was a black man. And the story needs to be told, because people don't understand their history.
Right.
People don't know my dad won half of his games right here in 12 years, 323 victories with these young men and others like them.
Right.
That was done in Melrose. He's the winningest coach to ever come through Melrose.
Absolutely.
And I'm not bragging, but I want the story
stating a
to be
fact.
told.
Yeah, we know we
You're stating a fact.
took pride. We took pride in what we had to do.
Who was the toughest team that you played
I don't remember.
in '83?
Northside gave us a run, but believe it, the shocker was Briarcrest. They had John Winfong that went to.
But I'm gonna tell you, actually, the toughest team when we went to the tournament and almost beat us was Covington. Covington almost, they took us to double overtime.
Even our 3 losses, we really, we lost to Northside in the state championship. We were better. We lost to Christian on the last second shot. And now the team in Alabama, the tournament champion, they were pretty decent because they had two LSU players. They had some All-Americans too. But another unique thing about that year, Bedford, he was a big recruit. So, we had ESPN come to our school because they had us ranked number 5 in the nation. So they came in the building, and that was really huge for that time because I don't think they had done it for any other school. No. So that was really unique. That was another thing.
It was nice.
One of the things that people don't, I was discussing with them, and I don't even know if they really understood what happened. This state championship team almost didn't happen. Not because of them, but that was a tough year for my dad and our family. My father went through a divorce that year. He was at home asleep. I came home in 82, 83, the year that they won, and it was my first year coaching with him. I had the 7th, 8th, and 9th grade players, the Scotty Masons, the Bowes, the Anderson, we'll break it down, Torn, Michael Thomas, Scotty Mason. I had those young group of guys, and they were learning from these guys. But what happened, Dad overslept. I drove my car up to Melrose, took the first 5 to the game. He came back, took the bus, and brought the rest of the guys. And actually, when the game started, he wasn't even on the bench. And I don't know, it's been so long ago, but it's a story that I think about often when I see these guys.
Okay. The members that are not here, I want you all to call their names so that we know that those guys were also a part of this team.
Jesse Dabney.
My brother Michael Bailey.
Michael Bailey,
Fred Jones.
Fred Jones,
Reuben Rhodes.
Reuben Rhodes,
Big Roosevelt was a big old lady.
Roosevelt Combs.
Roosevelt Combs,
Gerald Tibbs.
Gerald Tibbs.
He couldn't make it. I talked to him. He couldn't make it.
Okay, who did you say? Who did you say? Ron Finch. Ron Finch. That's it? Sidney Atkins. Sidney Atkins. Okay.
William Bethel.
All right. That's everybody? All right. I enjoyed talking with you guys, and I could go on and on and on because this is history. When I attended Melrose in the 10th grade, that was my first year there, and that team won a state championship my first year. So my expectations were very high, and you guys continued the tradition, and I appreciate you. I'm glad you spoke with me this evening. Thank you. I'm glad you were able to come up here for this. Congratulations again, because you all made history. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good evening.